Hey guys, welcome to Bar Z. My name's Stan, and being the diligent one that I am, when something new comes out, I want to go put my hands on it, play with it, whatever, get my hands on it any way I can. Now we've got some impacts that we use around the job site. These are all different. They're all made by Milwaukee. They're all the M-18 line. We've got the early brushed model rear louver. We've got one that's marketed as brushless but not fuel. And then you've got the fuel. I've gone over all of these, and so far my favorite is the full-blown fuel. But there's something new that came out, and I want to put my hands on it as quick as I could. So let's take a look at the fuel surge. This is the fuel surge. Let's open it up and take a look at it, dimensionally and weight-wise and everything, and then we'll pull you in closer and take a look at the corporate jargon on the box. Looks like your everyday impact. Let's compare it to, let's see, maybe the other most modern one, which is the fuel. Size-wise, the head is slightly smaller by maybe a 1/4 inch. Weight, strip this one down. Weight's comparable between the fuel and the surge. So the only difference is with the surge, they've changed the impact mechanism. And honestly, these impacts, I've never had any trouble with the impact mechanism. My big complaint is the brushed models. You know, the brushes are undersized and that little brush card wears out very quickly, and the brushes are not the cartridge type that just drop in. You have to change a green board with brushes already soldered on, done deal. So, all right, but that's the Milwaukee Surge. Let's get you in a little closer and get you looking at it. Okay, at first glance, you don't see a heck of a lot of difference. This is our old standby, the fuel. It's got the 3 speeds plus the it's not a drilling mode, it's a tech screw mode. So it's got the 4 speeds on it down here, and that's the fuel that I've come to love. This is the new Surge, same 4-button switch or 4 speeds. And it's a little more compact, very slight. But let's take a look at what Milwaukee, you know, they got this box. And they got a bunch of room on it, you know, in the front it's pretty sparse. There's not much there. This is just a bare tool. But let's take a look at the back. You know what, they had a big empty box and they needed to get some stuff on there. So what they put on there, it's 50% quieter than a standard impact. Wow, 50% quieter. Let's see if that's, if we can notice anything just here on the bench. There's the surge. And here's just a standard fuel. Now let's get them both on the same speed. Let's run them up all the way. That's high speed there. Fuel. Surge. I don't think there's any difference. Let's try it with let's try it against a there's an old brush model. This is an old beater here. Okay, it's louder than it's actually louder than my old impact. That's just running deadhead. I think that what they mean is when it goes into impact mode is when it becomes 50% quieter. Let's see what other kind of corporate BS they're giving us here. 3 times less vibration, smoother performance, and they got some bar charts showing you stuff. And it's got a longer sustained torque, and they've got some graphs and some bar charts there too. And here's the big claim to fame right here. It's a fluid drive. Right there, they're telling you it's a fluid drive. And this says reduces metal-on-metal impact, quieter operation, smoother performance, increased durability by minimizing wear. Now, I'll say it again, even with these old ones, I have never had any problem. I got about almost 20 of these impacts, and I've never had any problem with the impact mechanism and the hammer and the anvil and everything up inside the impact unit. My big complaint's always been the motor back here. So never had a problem, so I didn't see that they really needed to do any improvement on that. Power state brushless motor, same as the fuel. Red Link Plus intelligence, which means it turns itself off if you even give it an inkling that you're overloading it, which actually I find annoying. RPM 0 to 3,000, which is the same as the other fuel. So it's got an impressive amount of RPM. The fuels really impressed me with the RPM. But let's get this thing hooked up and actually tighten some bolts and let it go into impact mode and see if it's in fact quieter. I don't really care if it's quieter, but some of you may care if it's quieter in case you have some impact use, maybe around a hospital or an old folks home or something. So let's get it hooked up and on the bench and see if we can get the rattle on and get it to make some noise. Okay, before we go on to the sound test, let's go do some drilling, and we're going to put the fuel what is it again? Surge. We're going to go put the fuel surge up against the old fuel, and we're just going to run some tech screws into some thin wall tubing. It's only about 1/8 inch. We're going to use regular tech screws, a little bit of anchor lube, but we got to drive in a lot of them. So let's go run a few and see if the RPM's there, see if the impact mechanism, we like it, and the big thing about it, the electronics will turn itself off before we're done with our job and have that, have our bolts set or our screws set or whatever. So a lot of times it's operator skill. You see the bolt, it's going in. After it bottoms, and you see it, give it that extra half turn, you're done. If you stayed on it, you'd snap it. But if it takes that control away from you, it's worthless. Let's go check that out. Okay, well, we're going to do a real quickie here. We've got the old tried and true fuel. We've got some tech screws somewhere that are eluding me. There we go. I'm going to just put a dab of lube on there. This is a very thin wall column, less than 1/8 inch. And we're going to run that in and see what our noise level is and see how we like the fuel. We already know we like it. Alright, that's the old tried and true. Let's switch over to the new one and see how we like that. Okay, off with the old fuel and with the surge. This has got the self-protect feature. Let's see if we hate it. We might hate it because I do some fairly heavy work. We're gonna just put a dab of green goo on there. Go for this. You ready? Here we go. All right, that was self-protect. Again. All right, so they take that control away from you with the Milwaukee Surge. They've got a self-protect feature, so you don't either break the bolt or burn up the motor. I'm not a big fan of someone taking control away from me. I actually like the old fuel a little bit better for that. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Okay, well, let's get into this. Let's see how loud it is. Let's see how this thing impacts and everything. They say it's quieter. I don't hear a difference when it's running deadhead. I got 4 different impacts here. I've got a 1/2 inch bolt in the vise. It's a nylock. I've got it pinched pretty hard, so it's pinching down on the threads. Let's try it with an old tried and true impact. Let's run it down. All right, so pretty noisy, but you know what? I'm used to that noise. Let's try the fuel. This is that's the old standard fuel that they don't even talk about volume levels and noise levels. All right, so that's a little noisy, but their claim to fame on the new one is it's 50% quieter. This is, what the hell they call this thing? The Milwaukee Fuel Puke. No, it's the Surge, the Milwaukee Surge. So this is supposed to be 50% quieter. Let's see. Whoa. So the hydro drive is pretty damn quiet. That's actually a little impressive. So the Milwaukee Puke is pretty frickin' cool as far as your noise level goes. So that is not a idle claim. That thing's pretty damn quiet, huh? All right, so it's a hydraulic drive impact. Pretty interesting. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Just for the hell of it, I borrowed a Makita from one of the boys over in one of the other crews. And let's give a listen to this, see what kind of noise level we're getting out of this. So kind of pretty much the same as the older Milwaukees, you know. The one we haven't tried yet, marketed as brushless, not fuel. Plug that in again. So that's pretty noisy, and my socket's stuck. There we go. So that's fairly noisy. Let's go back to that, the fuel, what is it again? Surge. So let's surge this thing down. And all those tests are done on the high speed. On number 3 is your highest speed. So pretty interesting. You know what I'm noticing right now? So I'm on the trigger right now. It completely shut itself down. You know, it rattles about 3 times and then it turns itself off. But that is not adjustable. It rattles twice and then stops. And the other fuel does not do that. There's the other fuel on 3. As long as I stay on the trigger, it's going to keep rattling it. So that's pretty interesting that it's got a cutoff feature, and I don't see any way to adjust that. There's no speed control. All we've got are the buttons down here. Let's see what that drill mode does to it. I don't think that's going to make any difference. It turns off even quicker. Go to 3. You know, it's possible that the hammer and anvil in there hits so hard that you're going to start breaking bolts and stuff, and they're doing that to prevent it. But how could they possibly know what size bolt I'm using and how tight I want it? There's no way they can know that. And with an impact, it's just time. The longer you stay on it, the tighter it gets. All right, guys, that's about it for the fuel surge. Thanks for watching. Okay, boys, well, that's the end of the test. This is the Milwaukee surge on the fuel line. I don't like that they've taken the control away from you, but for someone, if you're giving this to a newbie that's stripping screws and breaking bolts, it's great because it's going to stop him. That impact only hits about 3 or 4 times after the bolt kind of locks up there, but you don't have any control of the torque. And how could they possibly know what size screws or what size bolts with tightening? They just can't. So they really, really shouldn't take that control away from you. I'm probably not going to buy another one. I'm still a fan of the old type fuel, the new surge. I love that it's quiet, but my only complaint is that control that they're taking away from you when your fastener finally locks up. Just not, even the screws I was putting in, it's just not getting them in. That's just thin wall tube, less than an 1/8 inch, so 10 gauge is what I was screwing into there. So that's not that thick of stuff. All right, man. Thanks for watching. Okay, guys. Well, it's the end of the day, and we put a fuel and then the new fuel surge side by side with Garrett, one of the guys. He was literally driving screws all day. And I can tell which one he liked. I told him to just try them both, and keep working whichever one he liked the most. And he went with the, I know you guys all want to know which one's the worker's choice. And this one goes to the fuel surge. He liked the fact that it shut off early and stopped him from snapping screws and bottoming screws out and stripping screws. So he liked the fact of with the early shut off and taking that control away from him. I like the control. I like to be able to feather my trigger and put my screws in. But with the automatic turn off feature, he was more confident that he was getting screws in and not snapping them and not stripping them. So he preferred the surge. I personally like the standard fuel myself. I don't mind a little bit of noise. We already know it's much quieter when when it goes into impact mode and it's starting to rattle. I'm going to believe their claim of 50%, so it's been pretty good. What else can we say about it? Runtime. He only changed batteries once today. About right around lunchtime, just before lunch, he changed batteries. And he was running a 3 amp hour battery in the morning and a 3 amp hour battery in the afternoon. So one battery change during the course of the day. He put in about between 14 and 1,800 screws today. We just based that on the weight of the bucket we weighed it before and after. So he put in a lot of screws, and we were much the same as what you saw me doing earlier, into some 1/8 inch steel. All right. Appreciate you guys watching. I hope this review helps you guys make a choice on whether to go with the fuel or the fuel surge. But that is new by Milwaukee. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.